The Muktikopanishad is a conversation between Sri Rama and Hanuman. And in this Upanishad, Muktikopanishad, Hanuman entreats Rama to reveal his real nature as it is, so that he may bestow emancipation on Hanuman and the whole of humanity. Rama, as the Upanishad says, and Hanuman praises him too, as one who is ever resting in Swarupa Dhyana. Swarupa Dhyana, the English translation is meditation on reality. Meditation on reality. Now, what that really means is anyone's guess. I do not really know. So, Hanuman addresses Rama as saying as one who ever rests in Swarupa Dhyana. And Hanuman says, O Rama, you are Paramatma of the nature of Sachidananda. O foremost of the family of Raghu, I make prostrations to you again and again, and I wish to know, for the sake of emancipation, your nature as it really is, O Rama. So, this is how Muktikopanishad starts. A conversation between Rama and Hanuman. So, the objective of Hanumanji is to know the way by which we can all be easily released from the bondage of mundane existence, samsara, and by which we can all attain moksha. The Muktikopanishad starts like this: Om Ayodhya Nagare Ramye Ratna Mandapa Madhyame. See, it starts with Om Ayodhya Nagare Ramye Ratna Mandapa Madhyame, which means in the lovely city of Ayodhya, under the bejeweled dome of the palace, Rama, who ever rests in Swarupa Dhyana, is being addressed by Hanuman. Sita Bharata Saumitri Shatrughno Samanvitam Sanakadyau Munir Ganeir Vasishtadhyau Shukadibihi Anyair Bhagavataischapi Stuyamana Maharnisham Dhi Vitraya Sahasranam Sakshinam Nirvikarinam Swarupadhyana Niratam Samadhi Virame Harim Bhaktya Shushrushaya Ramam Stuvan Prapancha Marutihi Rama Tvam Paramatmasi Sachidananda Vigraha Idanim Tvam Ragusreshtam Pranamami Muhurmuhu Twadrupam Jnatumichhami Tatvato Rama Muktaye Anayasena Yenaham Muchyeyam Bhavabandhanat Krupaya Vadame Rama Yena Mukto Bhavamyaham. So, the Sanskrit is fairly simple actually. And the first line I am repeating, Om Ayodhya Nagare Ramye Ratna Mandapa Madhyame. Ayodhya Nagare. The mention of Ayodhya is there in Muktikopanishad now. So, Upanishad means the wisdom of the Vedas, the Jnana Kanda. So, Vedas are at least 10,000 BC. So, now who is that rascal who is saying Ayodhya is not the birthplace of Rama? Ayodhya is mentioned here. So, this is one more evidence, literary evidence. So, all kinds of evidences are available. We are actually, Hindus are very immature in approaching courts for this. No person would actually approach a court for this. This is not a matter to be settled with the courts. Rama is a cultural icon and the matter should have been settled directly. Anyway, now this is about Muktikopanishad, and let us see some more about Muktikopanishad and some details about the conversation between Rama and Hanuman. Rama says, Vedante Sampratishtoham Vedantam Samupashraya. Vedante Sampratishtoham Vedantam Samupashraya. So Rama addresses Hanuman, O mighty armed one, Sadhu Prushtam Mahabaho Vadami Shrunu Tatvatah Vedante Supratishtoham Vedantam Samupashraya. Hearken then to the truth uttered by me. Listen to the truth. I am well established in Vedanta. That is the Jnanakanda. That is why I study the Upanishads. Therefore, you take recourse to Vedanta. That's what Rama says. Then Rama says, you should study Vedanta, and the Vedas are the expiratory breath, are my expiratory breath. Through the expiratory breath of myself, Vishnu, the Vedas were generated, and like the oil in the sesame seeds, Vedanta is well established or latent in the Vedas. And Hanuman asks, how many are the Vedas and how many are their branches and what are these Upanishads and how many are they? Please let me know. So, Vedantam ke Raghushreshta Vartante Kuta te vada. So, Hanuman is asking. And Nishwasa Bhuta me Vishnor Veda Jataha Suvistaraha. Nishwasa. Vedas are the Nishwasa, the expiratory breath of Vishnu, of Krishna, Rama. Nishwasa Bhuta me Vishnor Veda Jataha Suvistaraha Tileshu Taila Vadvede Vedanta Supratishthataha. So Tileshu Taila Vadvede. So just as oil resides in the sesame seeds, the Vedas reside in the Vedanta, in the Upanishads. That is the essence, the quintessence. The quintessence of the Upanishads is the Vedas. So, studying the Upanishads. In fact, the quintessence of all the Upanishads is the Bhagavad Gita. So, once you study Bhagavad Gita, you have all the Vedic knowledge in a summarized form. So, when Hanuman inquires, how many Vedas are there? And he also says, O Rama, many Munis say that there is one kind of salvation, the others say there are many, uttering your name or initiation into Taraka Mantra at Kashi, others through Sankhya Yoga, others through Bhakti Yoga. And so Hanuman says, there is so much, so please tell me. So, Sahovaja Sri Rama, Kaivalya Mukti Rekeva Paramarthika Rupini Durachara Ratovapi Mannama Bhajanat Kape Salukya Mukti Mapnoti Natu Lokantaradikam. So, Mannama Bhajanat Kape, even the worst sinner, if he chants my name, he will be saved because, and if he dies in Kashi, should one die in Brahmanala, the lotus stalk or street in Kashi, Brahmanala in Kashi, he attains my Taraka Mantra, and Maheshwara initiates him by whispering my name, the Taraka Mantra, into his right ear. That's what Rama says. Now, is it physically? Well, it can be physically or in a metaphysical sense. So, this is what Rama says, and let us look at the conversation a little more. Rama says something very interesting. Rama says, one Upanishad is sufficient, which is Mandukya Upanishad. If you study Mandukya Upanishad, that is sufficient. But then, if Jnana is not attained thereby, then you have to study 10 Upanishads. And then he gives the list. And you shall soon attain Jnana, and then my seat, O son of Anjana. If your Jnana is not made firm, practice then 32 Upanishads. If you strive after Videha Mukti or disembodied salvation, study 108 Upanishads. So Rama gives the names of 108. So if you see, he says if one is sufficient, but if you don't understand, then you have to study 10. And if that 10 also don't help, then you study 32. Then if the 32 doesn't help, then you have to study 108. So you see, so if you are really mature spiritually, just one is sufficient. Mandukyopanishad. Mandukyopanishad. And Rama's words, Iyam kaivalya muktistu kenopayena siddhyati Mandukya mekam evalam Mandukyamekam evalam mumukshunam vimuktaye Mandukyamekam evalam mumukshunam vimuktaye. Just one Mandukya Upanishad is sufficient. But if not, then the whole syllabus is there. Rama also says, Jnanato ajnanato vapi pathatam bandhamochakam. Jnanato ajnanato vapi pathatam bandhamochakam. That means these 108 Upanishads or now the Bhagavad Gita, if you read them with or without knowledge, it doesn't matter. Whether they read with or without knowledge, they still confer salvation. But they should never be taught to a person who is an atheist, an ungrateful person, or who finds faults, nitpicker, who is a nitpicker, one intent on vicious actions and having no devotion towards me. Rama is saying this. Or one who loses his path in a cave of books, who has what is called Shastra Vasana, who is simply doing dry scholarship. There is no point on any account. They shall be devoid of devotion, so there is no point teaching all this. This echoes the same shloka which Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 1867. 1867. Idante nadapaskaya nabhaktaya kadachana nacha shushrushave vacham nachame abhyasuyati. Krishna also says, don't teach this to a fellow who doesn't have any, who has no interest in listening, who doesn't have bhakti. Idante na tapaskaya, who doesn't have any austerity. Na bhaktaya kadachana nacha shushrushave vacham, who is not interested in listening. Nachame abhyasuyati. Asuya in Sanskrit means finding fault even in the good. Asuya in Telugu means jealousy. So the word asuya used by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita in Sanskrit means the tendency of some people to find even fault in something that is fundamentally good. So don't teach this. It is like casting pearls before swine. So Pandi mundara mutyalu veste pandiki ardham kaadu. So that is what Krishna says and Rama also says here. Rama also declares there are two types of actions, efforts men make. One that transcend the scriptures and those that are according to scriptures. Tatro shastram anarthaya paramarthaya shastritam. So tasmat shastram pramanante is what Krishna also says. So shastras means the Vedas. The essence is there in the Gita. So Shastras are not actually Smritis. Dharma Shastras are called Shastras, but that is not the Shastra that Krishna or Rama are referring here. Rama is saying follow the Shastra, which is the wisdom of the Vedas, and for that Bhagavad Gita is the best guidance. So otherwise, Shastra contains knowledge which cannot be acquired through the senses, which is beyond the senses. So this is intuition. So intuition of the rishis. Therefore, one has to follow them. So it is spiritual science. Rama says all the vasanas must be annihilated, destroyed through the extinction of vasanas. Vasanas are tendencies acquired over millions of births. So loka vasana, deha vasana, shastra vasana. Loka vasana is the need to be recognized and praised by others. Deha vasana is giving a lot of importance to the body, thinking that you are the body. And Shastra vasana is believing that by reading lots of books one will gain moksha. It is like a donkey carrying lots of books, it's useless. So Rama says, Janmantara shatabhyasta mithya samsara vasana. Janmantara shatabhyasta. So after millions of lives we acquire these vasanas and you are the result of all those actions that you have taken. So it's not easy. But Rama also says, Shubhayam vasana vruddhau na doshaya marutastuta. Extinction of vasanas is necessary, but there is nothing wrong in the increase of pure vasanas. The good vasanas. You must develop them and finally you will be liberated. In the case of the wise, the mind is destroyed, but in the case of the ignorant, the mind is a fetter. That is what Rama says. The uncontrolled mind enslaves you completely. Rama explains and defines vasanas as the clinging to objects, clinging to drudabhavanaya, chakta purva para vicharanam yadadanam padarthasya vasana sa prakirtita. Clinging to objects without previous or subsequent deliberation, through intense longing, is called vasana. And whatever a person meditates upon, that means if you are passionately thinking with a great ardor, then that he soon becomes. The same idea is said in the Gita also. Sattvanurupa sarvasya shraddha bhavati bharata. That is from the Gita, and Rama says a person who is entirely subject to vasana becomes of the nature of that. So the impure vasanas cause rebirth, while the pure vasanas are destroyers of it. Finally, Rama says, Brahmatattvam na janati darvi pakarasam yadha. After studying Gita and the Vedas, if you have not understand the nature of reality, then it is comparable to a ladle that is dipped in the gravy, but the ladle cannot taste the gravy. గరిట వంటకంలో ఉంది కానీ గరిటకి వంట సాంబారు యొక్క టేస్ట్ తెలియదు. సో బ్రహ్మతత్వం నా జానాతి దర్వీపాకరసం యథా. Rama compares the condition of a mind who has studied lot of books but he has not understood reality, or not understood Krishna Tattva or Rama Tattva or Brahma Jnana, is like a ladle that is dipped in the food, but the ladle cannot taste. Lot of dry scholarship. And also Rama says something which Krishna also says in the Uttar Gita. Atyanta malino deho dehi chatyanta nirmalaha ubhayor antaram jnatva kasya shaucham vidhiyate. So the body is by nature impure. Any amount of purification of the body doesn't make really any sense. Of course, it doesn't mean that you should not keep your body clean. Cleanliness should not become an obsession. And this also means untouchability, and all that is nonsense. The Vedic rishis never practiced any untouchability, because all bodies, your body, my body, anybody's body is basically pure. The Atma is fundamentally the body is basically impure. The Atma is fundamentally pure. So there is no need of purification of something that is by nature pure, and any amount of purification of something that is fundamentally impure is futile. अत्यंत मलिनो देहो देही चात्यंत निर्मलः उभयोर अंतरं ज्ञात्वा कस्य शौचं विधीयते. What is the point? So finally, Rama concludes that the body is impure while the Atma is fundamentally pure, and the bondage of vasanas is real bondage, while the destruction of vasanas leads to moksha. And after completely abandoning the vasanas, give up even the desire for salvation. After first giving up the vasanas of objects dependent on the vasanas of the mind, attract the pure vasanas through friendship of sadhus and through others, through real devotees. Though engaged in the world with these pure vasanas, give them up too and retire within the quiescent desires and become the form of the longing after meditation. Rama says, you will be left with me alone, firm in samadhi. Worship my reality. So, the word Ram itself confers moksha. So, that is the conclusion of Muktikopanishad. And Rama says a few more things, but I have given you the summary here. Rama describes himself as birthless, deathless, ageless, immortal, self-shining, pervading, destructionless, causeless, pure beyond the effect of the universe, and ever content, Nityatrupta. So he doesn't need anything. God doesn't need anything. Offering anything is meaningless because there's nothing that's why Krishna says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhaktyupahrutam ashnami priyadatmana. So actually God is Nityatrupta. He doesn't need anything. If at all you can give anything, it is your heart and soul and dedication. Jai Shri Ram.